seems to be a controversy. That is fact. It's not like I hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. I'm not. No. But it's fact. Abedi Pele, Kwesi Appiah, problem. Dede, problem. Now Jordan, I don't like what happened yesterday. I'm telling you, Nat, we are lucky it was Chad and we're leading. If it was Nigeria, Senegal, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, South Africa, Ghana down 1-0, Jordan being taken out, pressure on everybody, stadium vibe negative, then you go and give the band to somebody who has said clearly that I'm not, even though I don't have a video of it, but I'm aware he's not interested. And then he's even asking the bench, Charlie, Namonka, you know, that. So we have not handled it well. We have not. Look, Otto, please come clear, bang, on the field of play. If this happens, this. If this happens, this. If this happens, that. Don't say it in the camp, and then the people don't agree, and then when they come on the field, there's a problem. Let all Ghanaians know that if on Monday Jordan is being substituted and Partey is on the field, it is to Partey, or if Jiku is on the field, it is to Jiku. If Jiku is being substituted and this person is on the field, it is this, it is this, it is this. Captaincy is not about seniority.
Okay.
Captaincy is not about seniority. It's about leadership. Captaincy is about leadership. It is not about seniority. You could be a senior and not be a leader. There are countless examples of that. You can be a senior and not a leader, but you can be a junior and be a leader. And captaincy is about leadership.
Okay. Kwejo London.
I like that.
Yeah. Passionate man, aka passionate man. Look, Kojo Dimensa is raising a very critical issue. The last time I brought it up, someone went up at me and was trying to hit back at me very strongly on Facebook, and I said, listen, Kudus is a young player. He's the poster boy of the team. There's no doubt about that. But this is not the time, and time has proven me right. How do you see all of this? This new era of leadership, Jordan's potential, and having all of these little things or these little issues in the background, which could affect us someday somehow.
Well, Nat, I think all in all, it's very important that with Jordan, as Jordan is being given the captainship, he has to lead. That's the most important thing. Has he got the qualities to lead? Yes, it's early days now. We've only watched him about a game or two, and we're discussing that now. So I just think that going forward, we're going to see more of his leadership, how he's able to bring all the players together, because don't forget, there's a lot of factions in the team regardless. You find a bit of a quartet here who are very, more, they keep themselves to themselves. But it takes a great leader like what Stephen Appiah done, stuff like that, to be able to bring the team together. And I think on the pitch, what we saw on the pitch yesterday in terms of football-wise, he led in terms of football-wise on the pitch, because of how he simplified the game himself in the triangles, kept it very simple, not selfish, looking for the other players to be able to find them in spaces and not playing to feed his ego. That was very important. Now, when you start doing that, your teammates begin to trust you off the pitch as well. Because what happens is that when everything that happens on the pitch, they're not passing the ball to a particular player, or they're not passing the ball to XYZ, it creates a lot of friction outside the pitch as well. But what I saw yesterday was the Black Stars, that Jordan was very selfless, tried to pick the right passes and find the right people at the right time. Yes, we might say it was against Chad, but all in all, I think that is what it starts off from, to bring that belief, and also to make your teammates trust you that, you're very selfless, you care about the team. It has to start from that, and we saw that yesterday. But going forward, obviously, we're going to have challenging moments where there are going to be tougher positions coming at us. That's where the real test comes, your composure, how to be able to talk to players and bring the team together, encourage the team as well. And not just that as well, lead by an example on the pitch. So that will be the testing moments. But yesterday, I thought for me, Jordan did well. I know there's a whole issue about our use and all that bit, but I think that at the end of the day, the most important thing is to deliver on the pitch, is to bring the team together as a captain. That is very important. Be able to talk to some of the players. I watched Jordan's interview with Joy, and he said, "Oh, yeah, we don't need to be friends, but as long as we're all together and we're happy." But as a captain, you need to break those barriers. You need to be able to get into circles that, as an ordinary player, you wouldn't go. But once you're a captain, you need to have certain conversations. Let the players want it as much as you do. And that's very important. And I think that gradually he'll grow into that role. He's not a strong vocal person, but I still think that he can find a way to transmit that information to the team. Yes, we saw this a little bit scuffle with Partey on the pitch in terms of the captain armband. I think they're trying to stay as far as from the captainship just to focus on the game, and that for me was very important. Otto needs to come clear. He needs to, put structures in place. Who's the next captain if Jordan is not on the pitch, and so forth and so that. So if we're able to get that, then we can get Black Stars. That's a very healthy, that's very well structured in terms of role, and then we know where we're going as a team.
Also, in the build-up to the game, we saw His Excellency the President visit the team. The sports minister did. A set of parliamentarians, I believe the sports committee or sports and recreation youth sports committee, also visited the team. We saw videos and still pictures of former captain Samoa Gyan, having very soulful conversations with Jordan. Maybe all of these may have added to the general composure of the team and getting into winning.
That intrigued me big time. I was like, that demonstrated how low the Black Stars had sunk, in my view. I've followed this game forever. I think even longer than you. Kojo, I have never seen a sitting president visit the training session, not the game.
Yeah.
Training session of the Black Stars preparing to play the 176th ranked team in the world. Yeah. Come on!
Yeah.
That showed to me how low we had sunk. But again, it showed to me how determined the current structures were to ensure that we rekindle the spirit.
Yeah.
That was the message I got. I said, hey, sitting president, he hasn't even finished appointing his ministers. He took time off and went.
You mean his heads of institutions, and then setting up government.
Even
basically,
ministers, he hasn't finished the ministers.
Yeah.
So to take time out, and we are playing shadow. We are not playing any top 10 team in Africa, let alone top 10 team in the world. We've played England before. We've played England in the World Cup. We've played Italy. We played Czech. Czech were number 2 or so when we played them. We are playing the 176th rated team in the world. The president went to visit the team at a training session, not the main game. That was a big deal for me. It showed us how low we have sunk. But at the same time, two sides of the same coin, showed us the commitment the nation had to rekindle. And that is what brought the euphoria back. At that point, I knew Accra Sports Stadium was going to be full. Immediately at that point, I knew the game was going to be sold out. And I knew that the vim will be back. And look, I am told, I didn't see, that the minister was at the training session every day. We are going to Morocco. This is a controversial statement I'm about to make. Very controversial. It is a qualifier. But with the commitment and show that I saw, President, Minister, NSA boss, our own Yahoo was sitting in this studio with you and I a few years ago, NSA boss. Name it, ranking member, parliamentarian. They should take their fans. Controversial statement. They should take fans to Morocco for this qualifier. I'm telling you, the World Cup is that important. If the president will take time off his busy schedule to go and visit the team during training session, preparing against the 176th ranked team in the world, then what's the big deal if we have to take people to support that. We have to. I'm telling you. PFAG visited.
Now we'll have a little
visited.
challenge there because
I
you
know
know
it's
the
a
white
challenge.
paper. Yeah, because the white paper.
Massa. This
Yeah,
white
so
paper.
we forgo
this
Supreme Court
we have violated this white paper umpteen times. I have the white paper. It is on my right side in my drawer.
Yeah.
Somebody who is doing investment banking and fund management. I have the whatever commission, Jamaica Fair Commission white paper as part of my most important documents.
Yeah.
It should tell you how important it is. Massa, if we have to send them, let's send them to go and support, to go and cheer, to go and give him. Did you see the Jama for Asari, the goalkeeper?
Yeah. It was amazing. Yesterday,
I'm telling you.
and look, we have to give plaudits to the fans.
I'm telling you.
Like I told you, I watched the game with Mr. Humphrey Awolete Williams, the CEO of Oswald Investments, and also a former. He's an Olympics man. So an Accra Hearts of Oak man with 2 Olympics men. Can you imagine? And the former FA vice president, and you know where he was bringing a lot of insight about how the game has evolved, how things have changed, and how we really need to qualify for this, because you do know that Fred Papo was the management committee chairman who qualified the Black Stars, exactly,
Germany.
So he brings a wealth.
Denkebe and all.
Great. So a lot in terms of the conversations. So the fans have to be given their flowers as well, because they created the needed atmosphere. I remember when the goalkeeper's name was mentioned, during the lineup. Announcements. Amazing. Look, the stadium just went, and the Mexican wave happened at least about 4 times.
Yes.
And people just went with their phones at a certain point. Everybody puts off their phone lights.
Light was on.
And I think that Accra fans have learned something from the Kumasi fans, and it's very important.
They are challenging it.
Yes. Now the Accra fans are really coming to the party because when it comes to supporting Ghana, nobody can beat anything. We can't hold a candle to Kumasi when it comes to supporting the Black Stars. So I think that in terms of the support thing you're talking about, it was amazing, and it created a good atmosphere for the team.
It's controversial, but please, if the government is listening to me, and I know they are listening, Monday we need to fly fans to Morocco to support Ghana against Madagascar. I am being controversial, but I don't care. You can quote me. Kojo Adaimensa advocates fans to be flown to Morocco to support the Black Stars against Madagascar. You know what? If we win that game, we're 1 foot in the US. Because our next few games will be Comoros home, Mali home, Chad away. Come on.
Great. Tell me, Kojo, you are a Ghanaian living in the diaspora, and I want you to tell me, from this point that Kojo has raised, about the importance of booking this particular ticket to the World Cup. Tell me what it means for Ghanaians in the diaspora, first of all, and then we can come to what a sitting president like John Dramani Mahama would draw from it, that he would want to take time to go and inspire the boys at a period when obviously there are so many aspects of running the country that are pulling him away.
So now it's very important. First of all, let's start from home, because I think that's important. Charity begins at home. And I'd like to also say a big thank you to Jan Pofrankra, the new USA boss. And, in a week, they were able to put the stadium together and get the match ready.
Yeah, we're going to come to that. We're going to come to that, because that's also something we need to address. Yao and the team have done an amazing job. He didn't sit for 1 minute in the presidential box. All he did was just come in there, check on how things were going, and then we'll run back, And I think he also has to be given the plaudits. Yeah.
Absolutely. Getting the job done. That's very important. But it was important. I see people talk about the Chad game. But these Black Stars had fallen so low to a point that, the Chad game was the baby step that we needed. For me, the president's presence there was very, very much needed. Yes, we cannot talk about the Black Stars of old, where we played the Czech Republics and the USAs, and we're not on that same level. because we haven't kept up in time and over the years in terms of consistency, and also we haven't created a lot of squad to replenish the teams over the years. So this is almost like baby steps for these new Black Stars, and it was important the precedent was there that, look, I know the journey is going to be a long journey, it's going to be a tough one. Here we go, we start from here. But if we're able to put that baby steps together, and even when in a form of play, everything that we were doing, straining passes, little things here and there was no pressure. It was good because it kinds of forced a team. But if you're a coach, you understand these things, because when you play smaller teams, that's where the team gels more. The true quality of the teams are shown when the big texts come. But you need these type of matches to be able to bring the unity, the trust together, and also the belief and confidence starting from there. And that for me was very important. So the president's presence there was very, very important for this particular journey for 2026 World Cup. But for us in the diaspora, I think that the belief of Ghana qualifying for the World Cup is what, as if you're a parent, if you're Ghanaian and you're in the diaspora, that's what you hope for, because there hasn't been anything apart from football that has been the biggest ambassadorial position rather than football. Yes, music has been there, our Nigerian brothers are challenging us there, but football has always stood out for Ghana. And up until 2006 World Cup, a lot of Ghanaians were not proud of themselves, claiming to be Ghanaians. We usually would have said, we're Jamaicans, we are that, we're this. But for the first time, we own up that we're Ghanaians, all because of football in 2006 World Cup. It's very important that the young generation that is coming from Ghana, most of the talented players here that would dream in the future of playing for Black Stars and the youth teams, the Black Stars would have to do well and qualify for the World Cup. Also a sense of belief. There have been numerous times that you meet people here, they don't even know where you're from, and when you say Ghana, they go Black Stars. That's how much important football can bridge the gap over the years. So for me, it is very important. It's no-brainer, it's no excuse that Black Stars shouldn't qualify. We should do whatever it takes to qualify. Yes, we're going to Morocco. It's going to be a tougher test. But I also strongly believe that this team has what it takes, to win in Morocco, because one, the quality is there. We just need to find the right systems, the right pairings in midfield, how to control the games. And also what I saw against Chad, I thought we put the right players in the right position. Yes, it won't be a walk in the park in Morocco, but this is how the team should go. We found a system how to play Semenyo on the left side of attack. That is good. We found Partey bossing the midfield. That is good. Nyama playing on the left wing or the right wing. That is how the team needs to go. If we're able to play with the right players in the right positions, we can build confidence from there, and right through there, I think the sky can only be the limit. And so for me, if we're saying that the Chad game was like a dress rehearsal for the next game in Morocco, I think it's much needed. We need as many supporters as we can, wherever they can be from across the world, to come to Morocco. If we can fly some from Ghana, it will be a very good step as well. But at this moment, one thing for sure, the team needs all the support that we can all give. Through the media, we have to be positive. I think there's too much negativity in the media as well. We're talking the team down too much. This Black Stars team over there is much loved as long as the right thing is done. If Keto Kreku and his team and the ex-management team do the right thing, believe you me, they will receive more love, they will receive more support than ever. Because as Ghanaians, we love our team. But it's just that because of, obviously mishandling and mismanagement of things, that's why we found the supporters away from the team. But we saw in Accra Sports Stadium, it's quite obvious that stadium cannot contain Ghanaians to come and watch the Black Stars. That's the love that we have for the team. So they just need to do the right thing. They need to listen first of all and do the right thing and not feed their egos. Because the team over there represents a portion of Ghanaians. And, it's our heartbeat. If we're able to do these things right, I'm sure not. In 2006 World Cup, we are going to America and we're going to fill up all the places where Ghanaians play.
Amazing stuff. Remember, you can send your messages as well as you look forward to possibly getting through the phone-in segment. It's 05511119997, and also you can prefix with +233 +233 Very simple, isn't it? Okay, Kojo.
Yeah.
Now let's look at the game proper and aspects of the game which caught your attention, which you feel we can build up on. Let's begin with you.
Okay, so let me put it this way. I didn't like the first half of the first half.
Okay.
I think we couldn't.
So we're talking the first 20 minutes?
20 minutes, 25 minutes, even though we scored in the second minute. I mean, that one was, go mild melee, that kind of thing, aggression, adrenaline. But when things settled, I think we struggled to deal with the defensive setup of the Chadians. And look, check the Chad record. They haven't won, but they don't concede that many. So I think we really, really struggled in the first half of the first half. People now call it, Kojolande and Co, they call it low block or something. But me, in my time, we call it, Charlie, they've packed the bus. They had packed the bus. And we were struggling to figure out how to unlock it. I didn't like Kudus's contribution with his head down on the ball, trying to dribble past 8, 9 players. It wasn't working. And in that period, I think any decent side would have given us problems. I wasn't happy with the way even the defense had shaped up. I wasn't sure if it was a 4-back or a 3-back at the time. So there was a lot of anxiety, nervousness, even though what we were looking for was the very early goal to settle the nerves. I'm still not sure the nerves had settled that much. So I wasn't happy with the first half of the first half. But thereafter, I think as the lactic acid was coming through, the muscles were tiring. And don't forget, that people may not know, the Chadians had 8 debutants. 8 debutants. So 8 debutants with no experience, probably never played in such a
charged stadium,
packed
yeah.
stadium. So the opposition was nothing to write home about. I mean, even to say Madagascar is the test on Monday, I'm shy. I'm even shy to say Ghana Black Stars, one time ranked top 20 in the world. We are going to play Madagascar, and it is a test. It still shows how low we sank. But that said, thereafter, I think things started improving. I like the way, especially Nyama, Semenyo, Inaki. I like that combination. I really like Gideon Mensah Schindler. I would have preferred Jiku Simpson. But no, Salisu came, had a free header, positioned himself. Give him the credit. Don't say the Chadians didn't pick him up. But give him the credit. He pulled away from his marker. So that part really, I liked it. But the second half for me was, as you guys say, was dope. I think the second half was good. It was more relaxed. They were trying to learn each other, share each other. I keep saying that there are no more friendly matches available. There are no more friendly matches available. Every FIFA break or every FIFA weekend or every FIFA calendar is a competitive game. Yeah. In Europe, it's now the Nations League.
Yeah.
So in Africa, you barely will get a FIFA date that you can play a relaxed, friendly game. And that's why I was very, 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 very happy that Asari was given his chance. This was the only game Asari, the goalkeeper, could have been given a chance. It is against Chad. Conversion rate of 10%. Competitive game. Give him his opportunity. The whole qualifiers, Chad have had 4 shots on target or something like that. Or 5 shots on target. This was the only game you could give Asari an opportunity. Were you going to give him a debut against Senegal? No. This was the only game we could give him. So kudos to the technical team for giving Asari this opportunity. Accra boy, Hasselfolk boy, here legend Jama group owner. Niameba, Amenshi, Amenhale Vim, and even it charged the whole stadium. But we need to really work on teams that are going to do this modern day thing called low block. We need to figure out a way of unlocking it. And I think the unlocking lies in Kudus. And Kudus should raise his head, for crying out loud. You have the ball on your feet, raise your head, find your man. Inaki moves, Semenyo moves, release the ball and give it to them. And we can unlock, because this is going to happen. Look, Niger played on the counter and they beat us. Niger played on the counter. I'm not a coach. I haven't gone to coaching school before. I read, I do the YouTube. I learn my coaching from YouTube. But that's what they did, and they beat us. They beat us. So, I mean, the game as a whole, unfortunately, we're analyzing Chad. Unfortunately. But Niger have beaten us. Comoros have beaten us. Sudan have beaten us. So we can't just throw this Chad thing, under the carpet and take it for granted. They played well. But they should not, if they go to Morocco to play the first half of the first half, the way we played the first half of the first half in Accra, that would be problematic.
Passionate man, you are a coach, so we'll put this to you. How do we deploy a Kudus to ensure that we draw 100 or 200% from him, because he's heavily needed? He's a player who is able to hold on to the ball. He's got good muscle bulk. He's got good physical presence. And all those come to play. But how do we draw it from him? Kuja Diamonds has raised a very important issue here. From him, would also have to come to Thomas Partey and what happened yesterday.
Well, I think that, it's obvious about that in the previous games that we've played, we lost against Niger, we lost against Sudan, we lost all those games. There's one pattern that goes through those games. We failed to control those games in the midfield. We failed technically to control the games. So all the games we played to the tune of the opponent. Now, for us to be able to, going for have a solid Black Stars, we have to play to our strengths. The strength, thank God, is we have Kudus, we have Thomas Partey. Now, these two boys bring or makes a lot of difference in midfield, because Partey has that pass, in between the lines, and he can play those balls in between the lines. Now you have Kudus that can take on men, when you do need that man to carry the ball in the transition. So that is very, very important. I think Kudus' best part of the game is to drop him back into the number 10 position. In this particular team, we have a lot of wingers in there, Kamal Dean, Nuama, and all these boys. Fatau Shaku is going to join them at some point. So I wouldn't take Kudus to the left wing or to the right wing. I think that would be of no use to this Black Stars team. We need to create as much as we can, and with Kudus and Thomas Partey in midfield, it forms a solid partnership. Why? Because you have one that can always play the balls in between the lines, and you have one that can carry the ball and also create and make something happen. That is very important. So playing Kudus in that 10th position is what we should be doing. We put Thomas Partey right behind him in the 8th position to get those pocket passes in through. That is very key, because he has that vision, that eye, that calmness to play that both feet left, right. That's key. And then Kudus can always create over there. But Kudus cannot create alone. He needs that partnership with Thomas Partey. And he has to keep it very, very simple, but also at the same time as well, forward-looking passes. That's what we need to do with Kudus and Thomas Partey. And then once the midfield is set, we've got those wingers that are running on the side. The good thing about this current Black Stars is we have a Semenyo that finally they are beginning to, know his position, where to play in attack, which for me is always to play just as he plays for Bournemouth on the left wing, because he can blast through. He's got that energy work rate, and he brings the team that balance that we need. Because there's one thing having the ball in attack, there's also one thing defending well and giving the team that balance. And I think with those boys up front, we can have that balance. And it's better to have Partey in midfield reading the game behind all the attackers and be able to dictate play from there, because he brings a certain composure to his game, and that is very needed. You watch the previous games, we're rushing, kicking the ball, trying to kick the ball into the attack, no control, no experience. There's nobody calming the team down. But now, from what I saw in terms of positioning yesterday, I think that that's the right way to go. And then we can have our wingers, run on the side. Kudus should be the number 10 of the team, no matter whatever position we put Kudus. Yes, he has that quality to swing along the front three positions. He can go wide and come in. He can receive the ball and also be in attack. But the best position for me, I will keep Kudus in the number 10 position, so that when he's driving with Thomas Partey, they can play 1-2s and they can make things happen and possibly get our attackers run behind the back line of the opponents. They are fullbacks, especially their right backs and their left backs. With Nuama, he plays for Lyon, he understands that style of game. Kamaldeen understands that, and that's very important to our game. We can't solely depend on the midfield. We need to be able to open opposition teams from different spaces. That's the way we should go. But at the same time, we need to have a balance. And for me, that's where the bar stops.
Well, interesting. A fine balance indeed. Let's come to Thomas Partey. Quite a number of people, a little disappointed in the output, his general demeanor on the pitch and all of that.
I mean, he's gone through a lot of criticism. I mean, playing for the national team, he's gone through a lot of criticism. Even though, and people very quickly forget that he took us to Qatar. I mean, literally. I mean,
that goal.
It was at his feet that we got to Qatar. But that said, I mean, he's suffered a lot of criticism as to his output at the national team level. And why is that? Because people compare him in his output at Arsenal with what he does, at the national team. And because at Arsenal he's so phenomenal and he's so a key part of the Arsenal setup. And there was a time when statistics were brought out how Arsenal doesn't play well when Partey doesn't play. Even recently, condolences to you, but Arsenal beat Chelsea recently when Partey was he was all surveying the whole midfield. Not like in N'Golo Kante though, but people quickly compare his output at Arsenal to his output at the national team. But what people forget, and let me remind all Ghanaians, that you are as good also as your supporting cast. You are as good as your supporting cast. The supporting cast that Partey has at Arsenal is nowhere. I mean, the Black Stars one is nowhere close to what he has, at Arsenal. So sometimes we need to understand that your expectations. We need to manage the expectations. A full squad Arsenal will have Odegaard, will have Saka, will have Kai Havertz, will have now Skelly. They are around him. So he's at his. We see him at his best. And they even cover any error he may have made. It will be quickly covered. The pace there is different. But whether we like it or not, in my personal view, Partey is our best player. Partey is Ghana's best player, whether we like it or not. Yesterday, he bossed the midfield, I think. But it was, again, against Chad. So we will have to see. I would like to see a Partey against Senegal, a Partey against Cote d'Ivoire, a Partey against Morocco, a Partey against Egypt. I would like to see that at maybe an AFCON or a World Cup or whatever. Then we can. But I think he's unfairly criticized, and we need to understand that this guy is wrapped in cotton wool even at Arsenal, and we are not expecting him to come breaking his leg at the Black Star level. But whether we like it or not, he's our best player. And yesterday, I'm glad. I think yesterday the technical team got it right. One pivot is all we needed. We did, and Kojo London, please. I'm not a coach. I'm just using my YouTube skills and what I watch to say what I'm. But I think they got a spot on. All we needed was a one pivot. And did you realize that in the second half of the second half, Partey was already playing up front on the left wing? The game was done, and he was adventurous, and he was expressing himself. He was cool. So I think the criticism of Partey should be toned down. He's our best player whether we like it or not. And he will stick to the coach's instructions. I think against Madagascar we should play a two pivot defensive type midfield. That's what I think, at least in the first 30 25 minutes. And I hope Partey will then score a goal to to cement his superiority on the team and on the game.
Well, we'll be welcoming some more messages as we go along, but we're looking at what was done last night at the Accra Stadium, where the Black Stars won by 5-0, and also looking at the challenge that will be posed then by Madagascar, who will be hosting this game in Morocco. Passionate Man, you have talked about a few other things. Now we will stay on the subject of Thomas Partey for a while. Sometimes you see him having a bit of a slow day on the pitch. Yesterday, his demeanor was more of calm, but usual, distributing the ball. I sat with a few people in the presidential box who complained about his the consistent, return. Like he turns around, takes the ball to the back rather than look forward or push forward more. What do you think as well?
Well, I think yesterday watching the game, it was no different from a Partey in Arsenal. We have to understand that the setup of the Black Stars is quite different from what he does here in Arsenal. Yesterday, the Black Stars were in total control. So for him as a midfielder, all he had to do was just to make sure that the team was safe. So it's more or less like, the team is safe. We're scoring goals. Once the ball goes up front, we score goals. So when I have the ball, keep more control and make sure that everybody, is in the right positions. And so when he sends those back passes, it's basically to reorganize the team shape again, and then it can open up space, and then they find another gap and play the ball through. But I think that when we come against tough opponents, it's going to be not just Partey alone. It will be synergy. Because in midfield, we have to understand that when there's a lot of clashes, Partey is clashing with Kudus or so another player, that's where you find the right midfield beginning to work. So I'm expecting that they, once they face the tougher positions, they will start talking. And they start, instructing one another. Go now, follow him there. Oh, go for that tackle. And once they do that, that synergy begins to generate into something that builds into a team spirit. And then the trust between the midfielders is going to help the team even play more better. I just think that what Partey did yesterday, of course, he just had to keep it cool. There was no pressure. The team is scoring goals. Keep it safe. Control the game. Ball distribution here and there. Receive the ball in empty spaces. Go for quick distribution. Just relax in midfield. That's what he had to do yesterday. So the role that was given to him was not for Partey to run into transition. There was no point running because you've got Chad who are quite open and they're not attacking us that much. So why, run in with the ball when you don't have to? You have to leave that for the wingers to do that. He's a midfielder first of all, and good midfielders do not score a lot of goals. They score only important goals because they read the game more from behind and they're able to spot the gap and pick those moments and chances. So for me, I think that we're beginning to see the best of Thomas Partey in for Black Stars. What this team has struggled over the years has always been control. And Partey, his presence brings a lot of control in this team. And so for me, he did what he was supposed to do. We don't need to think about Partey scoring goals here and there. The goals will come when the moments are right. And so I just think that what he did, he brought a lot of control. But we need a solid partnership. I never like when we play Salis, and the boys in the midfield because it's quite flat. We need to create more because of how this team is set up, the quality of players we have. If we're not able to create much in midfield and then also open up our play, it's going to create a lot of problems. So I just thought what Partey did yesterday was spot on. He played with a more experience, not rushing it. When the game is at that point, he sends the pass back to reset the game again. And you need to understand football from that. The moment that ball goes behind, all the wingers that are up front, they run back a bit. So now the dynamic of the team begins to move different again. And it takes only clever footballers who have a sharp IQ about the game that are able to read the game from that perspective. Yeah, I know for football fans, they want the team to attack, but sometimes the only way to drop players out of those low block positions is to send a back pass, and then it resets the team again. It creates another opportunity. So I think Thomas Partey, we should be happy that we have a player that can get on the ball and can also be a bit slightly defensive, but also needed when offensive.
All right. So, Kojo Adames has spoken about the goalkeeping and how the Hearts of Ogoli got some very good plaudits from the fans when he was announced and all of that. He had a fairly good game and all. But he's advocating that we use some more experienced hands in that game against Madagascar.
We do need all involvement. You know, it's of course Atiziki is more experienced. He plays in Europe. He's seen certain moments, and you know, football and goalkeeping is always about anticipation. So the more as a goalkeeper you play, the more you're able to anticipate, you know, how the balls are coming, the timing, whether you're using your feet or whether you know you're diving. So it's all about that. So the more you play in on a top level, the more as a goalkeeper you stay up on your game. I just think that it's important that we give the local goalkeeper a chance as well. That hybrid is what this team needs. We need our local players to be with us. He might not be the stick in some of the big matches, but his contribution is also important. Once we're able to do that, we're able to have a very solid team that has, you know, local players and foreign players all together. So I just think what the goalkeeper, Utuado did on last night was a smart move. We're playing in Ghana against Chad, no much pressure. Local goalkeeper, across the folk, across sports stadium. When you connect all those dots together, it only makes sense. That's why some players are being chosen to play against their former teams when they play against them. It's a smart move. It's a motivational game, and it can breathe confidence into other players as well. And you need that. Football management is not just about the tactics alone on the pitch. Psychologically, you need to be able to get that going in the head of every player. And once you get that, today we are talking about Kudus and Partey. There are other young players that are local players that are coming through that we need to encourage as well, because when we're able to do that and their head is right, just like we did in the days of Anthony Annan when he came in for ACN and later on he went on to become Anthony Annan for himself. We need to start building the team like that to be able to encourage the local players. And in this case and in this scenario, I just thought that Asari was the best man in the post. You know, obviously he's not too well experienced, but this was just the right perfect game for him.
There's a message from Uncle Paul. He says the team's problem has been lack of dynamism, especially from the midfield. That was well covered by Nyama yesterday. The fullbacks, especially Salisu, are too slow and should not be hanging on the ball. Kudus must learn to release the balls quicker than he does currently. More to follow. Cheers. Okay, so this is from Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul, thank you so much for this message. Now, there's another thing that is also very clearly related to this game, which is the time schedule. Schedule, beg your pardon.
Yeah.
It was a Friday evening.
Yeah.
Could we have played it earlier? Was it a perfect time to play?
I am actually informed, and I stand corrected, that the original time and date for the game was on Tuesday at 4 p.m. That's Tuesday before the Friday. And I heard in other circles why the FA couldn't lobby in quotes, to get the game played earlier. Now we play Friday, we leave on Saturday dawn, we arrive in Morocco Saturday evening, we'll have one shake up Monday game time. So it's like people were blaming the FA that they didn't really pull their strings, but it's not their fault. From what I know, the original time and date was Tuesday at 4 p.m. I didn't personally like the 7 p.m. time, even though people say the weather is cooler, etc., etc., etc. But thankfully the stadium was full. But these days, people who go to the stadium don't live in Adabraka, Asylum Down, Osu, Teshin. There's anymore. Everybody's going to Nungwa, Frafraha, Amrahia, Committee 25, far. So, but yeah, I think it was good that the attendance was okay, but it's not within our hands. Now it's TV rights, it's CAF scheduling, etc. So we should be ready to play. It could have been 2 p.m. and then people think that the 7 p.m. was good for our players because they play in Europe. It's cold, da. But I don't think it matters that much. I personally don't think it matters that much. And I've heard people saying Sudan, we play them. The time of it was warm, it was humid. Our players were struggling, but everybody's playing within the same environment. Everybody's playing within the same weather environment. So maybe the 7 p.m. this time worked for us because then people could get home to watch. People could close comfortably from the office and not lie and leave work before 5 o'clock and etc. And I'm glad that the generators held up. But the floodlights were not good. I could see shadows.
Yes.
The floodlights were not great.
Yeah. So
it means we have a problem with the floodlights.
So when I got in, one of the first people I saw in the box was Mr. Kwame Ofosu-Banfo, Sickins.
Yeah.
And he drew my attention to it. The first question he asked me was, Nathaniel, come, look around and tell me what you think of the floodlights. So that brings the conversation to our good friend and our brother, Jan Pofankra. I would have to congratulate him. At the right time, I would have a conversation with him here on the Joy Sports Link. But, Yao has traveled a remarkable path trying to, on the other side, which is media. He has traveled a remarkable journey. Now he's been placed there in the saddle to do the job at a very challenging time and a time when we do not have resources available because the National Sports Authority is a resource-stricken authority, and he has to really push very hard.
I don't think Yao can come out and say the same thing previous NSA bosses have said. While he was, anchor at Joy Sports Link, he was anchor at Joy Sports whatever. He was anchor everywhere. I've everywhere I've been with Yao, Max, everywhere I've been with. He can't come out and say we are short of funds and say the same thing that the previous NSA bosses have been saying. So I think he should do something different, and I think he will do something different. I believe he's very determined. Clearly, he's gone and seen the gravity of the situation. Very diplomatically, he said, "Look, guys, I'm not here to criticize my previous administrators or my predecessors. I'm here to fix a problem. I'm here to make sure that things work, and I think he'll fix it. But he shouldn't wait on central government. But if we are talking floodlights, the floodlights were poor. He talked about washrooms. The washrooms are poor. He talked about iron rods. The iron rods are poor. There was a portion of the stadium that was blocked to fans because they didn't think it was safe enough. So there's a lot of work for him, and we are only talking Accra Sports Stadium.
Yeah,
that's all we are talking about. Accra Sports Stadium. He has a Herculean tax on his hands for all sorts of venues.
but for
including Bote, man.
Very well. But for doing all of this within the space of 7 days, I believe is
it was phenomenal. It was
phenomenal.
But it should tell you that he had a lot of support from the executive. You can't do this without support from the executive. I don't think he did this with private sector funds. Absolutely no way. He must have pulled this off with executive support. And by executive support, I mean from the presidency. He could, I stand corrected, but I don't think Yao could have pulled this off without executive support. And for the president to go and visit them at the train, it shows that there was executive backing behind him. But you can get executive backing and still fail. So let's give him the plaudits. Let's give him the thumbs up. Let's salute him. I wasn't at the stadium. I didn't watch the game at the stadium, but I was told, he was with his two-way speakers, three-way speakers, communicating constantly, making sure that everything was, this is somebody who is passionate about the job, knows what to do, knows what time it is, but they still have to give him the resources. Look, if that two-way speaker he was holding, if they hadn't even given it to him, how would he communicate? He would take his own cell phone and start calling. Within a few months or weeks, he'll be frustrated. He'll stop. So they should give him the support. Guys, give Jan Pofankra the resources, the support, the push, and he will deliver. We've worked with him since 1992 here. He will deliver.
Great. And we now look at some of the messages that have come in. This one is from Fred. He says, I couldn't watch the match even though I had a ticket. The congestion at the gate
Yeah, I'm told.
and the corruption. They take your money and let you in. The tickets were given to few people to sell at 20 Ghana cedis and 30 Ghana cedis for the 10 Ghana cedi ticket. And say, okay, so Fred, we have gotten your message loud and clear. For some of these things, would also have to get a bit more evidence as well. Nat, please educate me. Why didn't GTV show the game? Well, remember that we are here at Joy. We are multimedia. We were not in on the conversations that go on in the technical department, and we're not in on all those conversations. So unfortunately, I cannot answer that question for you. Now there's this other one. It's from Lovelace Nanaya in the UK. He's called British Chairman 1. Okay, British Chairman 1 has written this one. He says it's fine that the Black Stars won yesterday's game, but to me, I think it's too early to raise much praises.
Yeah.
Let's wait for Monday's game and subsequent ones. Then we can deal with the issues properly. However, kudos to them. I wish them good luck on Monday. Okay, thank you very much for that message. Remember, it's 055-1111-997. This one is from Yalfosu in Atlanta, USA. Nat, I watched Libya and Angola yesterday and was really disappointed with the way the Libyan players and the ball boys and the fans behaved holding the ball. CAF needs to look into this. Okay, I'll go view these highlights later on and also see where you are coming from. Some more messages. Let's do our best. Benjamin Asari made all stakeholders of our Ghana Premier League very proud yesterday. More local players should be given the opportunity. And this is from Inko Joseph. And he says, I just love the points raised by lawyer Ernest Thompson's write-up. Madagascar should never be a stumbling block in our way to Canada, Mexico, and America. Okay. Now, there's this other one. It says, good day, Nathaniel Attoh. Congratulations to the Black Stars after a convincing win yesterday against Chad. Despite the win, some of us are a bit reluctant to conclude that the team is back to winning ways because of the strength of the opponent. I was very disappointed that the GFA and the Sports Ministry could not facilitate free-to-air coverage of the match so that Ghanaians across the country could watch. Prosper Domenyo from Dakuman there. Prosper, we're grateful to you for your message. Feedback will be relayed. Good day, Nat. The stadium entrance was so packed that with fans that it was closed for a period just after kickoff. My dad and I had to leave because we envisaged a security risk. Crowd management was very poor, but at least we listened to the commentary on Joy and we won. But we must keep our winning streak. This is from Shem Mixon Yeboah. Shem Mixon Yeboah is also called barbecue or something like that. Douglas in Oyarifa has sent this one. He says, hello, Nat. Yesterday's match recorded a kind of scoreline that has eluded the Black Stars for some years now. The result virtually ended the one-goal project of, kinds of performances recorded in the past. We, the fans, are satisfied with the performance, but cautiously await the outcome of the second game on Monday. For me, a win on Monday will not only put the team in good position to qualify, but it will also present a bold statement to that the Stars are crawling back to where they must be. All the best to the team on Monday. All right. Thank you very much for that message as well. 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. We all bask in the glory of scoring a goal under 1 minute, right? And Passionate Man, let me come to you. We were looking at strategies and ways of how to slow our friends from Madagascar down if the need arises. What do we do when we get there? Should we try a similar strategy? Because in under 1 minute, the game show has not settled. And a lot of the time, these things happen. We saw the first goal that Asamoah Gyan scored for us at the FIFA World Cup in 2006. It was under similar circumstances. Game had not settled. Would you advise that to the players?
I would rather think about the team not conceding as early as they can. I just think that, yes, if we're able to score early, that's good. But we should not concede early, no matter what, because that can unsettle the team and the coaches' plans towards the game. So it's very important that we do not concede. yes, if we do score early, that's a blessing. That's good, but definitely we should try as much as we can not to concede, and if we're not able to concede early, then that's good for us because it can help build the team's momentum in the course of the game, be it first half or into the second half. That's very important. That whatever we do, Madagascar play a lot on the wide areas. They've got sharp wingers, and they will come at us. Quick balls coming through. Gideon Mensah and the right back will be at test throughout the whole game. So it's very important that our wingers drop back to also help them to be able to defend in those wide areas. So we should try as much as we can from the blast of the whistle to be switched on and also not to, put your eyes off the ball, but make sure that we do not concede early. If we do concede early, that can be a problem to us. So that is where, as a coach, from a coach's perspective, that's where you want to look at more. Of course, we've got forwards who are very good. Semenyo has been doing well, and you can tell when he has the ball, his drive, we can always go on early goal. So it's no sort of shocking or no surprise to me or any Ghanaian. But I think that we should be on the eyes on the ball right from the start of the game, that our defenders do make sure that they're not taken by surprise.
All right, we'll see if we can slip in some 2 phone calls before we wrap up the show. 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541, and 055-11-11997, 055-11-11997. Okay, so pretty simple. We all know what awaits us in Morocco, and you have advocated strongly that we fly the fans there. Well, we'll see what happens. But
I know it's controversial, but yes, I think we should do that.
Very well. Now, you've seen some of the highlights of some of the qualifiers.
I've actually watched full
yeah.
games of some of the. I watched Rwanda, Nigeria. I watched Gambia. Who did Gambia play? I watched Gambia.
And it was a 6-goal thriller. It was very interesting.
Very, 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 very good game.
Yes. Kenya versus the Gambia.
Kenya versus Gambia. With Benny McCarthy out there.
Yeah.
I watched Benin, Zimbabwe, and which other?
Let me conclude for you. We have to qualify for the World Cup.
Bottom line.
Let me get on the phone lines. Hello. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on the Joy Sports Link.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Thank you very much as well. Yeah, Abu Mohammed is my name. I'm calling from Japan.
Please go ahead.
Yes. For us, Jordan fans, we think this is the best decision Blaster has ever made by making Jordan captain. But yes, those who are against Jordan or are used to, they are still behaving like Cristiano Ronaldo fans and MPP fans. Jordan has proven that he's a very good leader. He has shown that on the field. But yes, people are trying to, spoil people's mind that anytime the Ayus become captain, then there is problem. Even though we have scored 5 goals, you try to program people to hate this guy. Yeah, the guy is excelling. He's doing very well. Yes, see when you talk about Partey and Jordan, who has been criticized more? Jordan has been criticized more than Partey. But when it comes to Partey, look at how calm you are. In fact, the whole statement your guy made in the studio, the only one that made too much sense to me was when he said George Foreman was one of the people who made Muhammad Ali one of the best. That was the only statement that was deep for me. But that's what I'm confused, to be honest. Thank you.
Very well, very well. There's a message from Enes Boama. He says, great show. The Black Stars game on Monday will show if Coach Attoh has what it takes to lead Ghana to the World Cup. Well, some very profound statement from Enes Boama there. Enes Boama is a former producer of this show. He's now with the Millennium Excellence Foundation. Yes. Yeah, so you agree with him? Okay, just before we come for these final comments, let's just pick a final call. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Been great. Thank you for asking.
Yes, I just want to make a comment on the first caller.
Very well.
We should take out politics from this game of Black Stars. Where from MPP, NDC in this, it's a team. It's a Ghana team, and I don't think once they appoint a captain, that is his time, and that is his qualification. He has done so well to merit this position. Let's allow and take out. People make their personal opinions. I don't think it should be generalized. If somebody says something about Ayu or Party, those are personal opinions. I don't think we should generalize it. And it's done maybe one person at the radio station making a comment, and as if it's the whole Ghanaians who are doing that. I don't think we should allow those comments on radio this time to destabilize the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those contributions. A big good afternoon to the president of the Ghana Arm Wrestling Federation, who's also president of the African Arm Wrestling Federation, and his vice. I'm talking about Mr. Charles Osei-Sibe and Dr. Kofi Ejekum. Dr. Kofi Ejekum is burying his father next weekend. In the New Job and Traditional area. Yes, Dr. Michael Ejekumado. Yeah.
If we don't mention Reverend Morgan's name here, trouble.
Reverend Morgan, we salute you, Charlie. We salute you.
So today, this morning I played soccer with him.
Yeah,
he says his regards.
Yeah, big ups to everybody at Union, and thank you all so much for the massive support. Okay, so Kwejo London added to your nickname, Passionate Man, and all that. Look, final thoughts as we wrap this up. Monday is a crucial day.
Yes, I think Monday is a big text for the team. We have to make sure that, as Black Stars, we stand tall. I think that we've had a good foundation from the Chad game, a lot of bonding, a lot of team, a lot of the team coming together, and I mean, the unity behind the team was solid and was evident in the Chad game. I think in that same spirit, we should go, into the Morocco with that same idea, and also notice that in the game in Morocco is going to be a different game. Obviously, we need to move the ball quicker. We need to create more chances, more opportunities, and we need to play as an effective team in Morocco. So I just wish that every Ghanaian should support the team. And also, let's unify and support the team. I hope that the GFA as well, from now, will begin to do the right thing. It's evident that when they do the right thing, they can get that amount of support from Ghanaians in Ghana and around the world. That's very important. Also, we also like to congratulate the NSA boss, Jan Pofankra, and the 1 week, him and the team. Also, they put the stadium together, and it was evident. Of course, there are challenges, but I'm sure that in the coming months he will try his best to get stuff working properly. And so I think all in all, let's be positive, especially us in the media and the coaches and the managers and all commentators. Let's be more positive about this team, and so that the team can draw more strength from the positive things we say. And also the technical team, Otuado, should just also steady and do the right thing.
Great stuff there. And, just like Kwejo Adaimensa has said, give your Ampofakra money and he will deliver.
That's simple.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kwame. Bra Charlie. Yeah. So Kwame Dazi is my man, your man. He's going to be taking over the radio very soon. And Kwame, earlier we were talking about, our friends at the Ghana Tourism Authority. Mami Fawhajato made time to come here on this show. She was on the morning show as well during the week. And one of the key things that struck all of us yesterday was the branding for the game, considering the short period that they had to prepare and everything. Yeah. The walk from the main gate, the main entrance of the stadium, to the VIP stand. I mean, they had created this wall by the tennis courts, and it was showcasing, the Visit Ghana agenda and everything. Exactly. And also the stand, which was supposed to be, closed, had very big banners, and I sat with her yesterday in the box, and I congratulated her. I said, listen, these are the kinds of things we want to see. Sure. Because football provides a very, very big platform for pushing the arts.
Earlier on, I was having a conversation with Abeku Santon. I think he posted something on Facebook, responding to somebody who commented on his post asking why GTA was involved with something which is sports.
They have to be involved.
I was like, people don't understand what tourism is.
They don't understand. They
only think about tourism, and then they think about going to see monkeys and then waterfalls, just that. But I think there are various aspects of tourism: sports tourism, religious tourism, and all other medical tourism. And I think we should explore more of these aspects of tourism, not just limit ourselves to just a few.
One
So
of the things
that's a
that
good thing.
yeah. Kwame, one of the things that struck me yesterday was the expatriates who were wearing Black Stars jerseys. These
Yeah.
A lot
white
of them.
boys and girls,
A
Chinese
lot
guys,
of them.
like a whole family of Chinese people wearing Black Stars jerseys.
And so
Anyway,
one way or the other-
Charlie, final one. I know we're running into your time.
Exactly.
Charlie, I like the way you said exactly. Minya, Charlie, yellow jersey na eshe. Wow, Osha. Charlie, me I like a momo. No, I don't know.
Not me.
You don't like?
Nah, I don't like.
Oh, Charlie, me I like
They
a
look
momo.
like jersey.
Some
They
day inside
no.
so.
See, you wear no, I see no, it be you, but
Charlie, me, no, the be, no, the be.
You don't like the yellow jersey.
Me, I've seen
Charlie, we haven't done yellow in a while.
Yeah.
okay, it was nice.
Yeah, I like. I don't know, but there's something. There's something
Because
about
I
it
saw
that I
a
like.
video of you. Somebody was.
Do you remember
asking
the
me about
94
it, and I
jersey?
saw
Yeah.
you rocking one.
Yeah.
Do you remember the 94? The 94 jersey was yellow with that
With that the
star
splash,
thing and the splash,
yeah,
you know.
Yep.
Hey, Malam, yeah, them two walls on yellow B.
Yeah, Charlie, but this one be clean. Yeah, I like it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. It's been wonderful sharing your company this afternoon. Kwame Dazi and the rest of the team take over with Showbiz A to Z. Great music, great conversations in the arts and entertainment industry right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our apologies for our inability to bring, in the conversation from the Honorable Patrick Yalboama. We promise you we're going to bring Honorable Patrick Yalboama in subsequent editions of the show. So many other things were pulling him away from here. So accept our apologies for that. So thank you so much. This is your Superstation Joy 99.7 FM. Production led by Benaya Elom Dafiamekpo. Thanks so much to the social media team as well. We'll be back here next week to bring you another Joy Sports link. In the meantime, we've entered officially Showbiz A to Z with Kwame Dazi and the rest of the team.